Hey everyone, the numbers are in for Whisper Dunes in Panama City Beach for November 2020. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group over at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For those of you who've seen these videos before, I'm going to do the market update a little bit different this month, three parts. I want to re-explain the e-alert system. I know a lot of people love it. Some people don't know about it, so I'm going to touch on that just real briefly. Part two, I'm going to give you a sense of what's happening in the overall market in Panama City Beach, so you can see some things of what's happening there, and then go specifically into the Whisper Dunes market, so you can compare how that market is reacting to everything else in the market, and look at some specific pricing in Whisper Dunes. So let's get right into it. For those of you who don't know this system, this is our e-alert system. You're looking at it on a laptop computer. It looks as good, or I think even better, on mobile devices like iPads and phones and things like that. What this is, well, you're looking at a version for the Whisper Dunes e-alert, and this is pulling anything that's for sale, under contract, or is sold. And what this will show you, if you're set up for this, is you get a version that looks exactly like this. And if this is something that's on the market here, things that have sold, what I'm most excited about this system, in 17 years of selling real estate, I've been selling since 2003. I've never seen something that gives the consumer such accurate information this quickly until I ran across this software. Most of the time, buyers and sellers and owners are relying on real estate agents to either give them specific information or trying to do their own research and look at all these different websites where sometimes the information is accurate and sometimes it's not. This data is coming straight from our realtor system, and it comes instantly as soon as everything happens. So you can click on each one of these and look at the interior photos and the descriptions and all of that. So if you're looking at comparing different things, you can see that. But again, it'll show you under contract. It'll show you things that have sold. It'll show you if there are price adjustments. And a couple different ways we're using this. For people who are buying something, if they're targeting a specific neighborhood or a specific price range, we can set up the search with that criteria. And anytime anything happens, they're instantly sent an email. So if they're looking only in Whisper Dunes and something hits the market, and then something changes price 3 hours later, they'll actually get two different emails right as those things happen, keeping them up to date with what's going on. For owners who are just interested to see what's going on in the market and what prices may be doing, we'll set them up on something maybe once every 2 weeks or once per month, and maybe only send just the sold so they can see what the sold pricing is. Some people like to see everything, under contract, price changes, all of that. We can set it up instantly, daily, weekly, bi-monthly, or monthly. So however you'd like to receive the information, however often you like to receive the information, and what specific information you want, we're happy to set it up for you. We can set up any neighborhood, any price range, any number of bedrooms. We can do multiple neighborhoods. We can do geographic area. Any way a real estate agent can search, we can set you up for this. If you're interested, reach out to me. There's no commitment. There's no fee. My cell number is 850-527-0221. Just shoot me a text. Email me, Craig@CraigDuran. We'll set you up. I'm real excited about this. I think it's the accuracy of the information and getting it out in a timely manner, I think, is really important for those who are interested. So I'm excited about it. Use it. Let me know if you're interested, and we'll set you up. All right, the overall market in Panama City Beach, let's go back to beginning of the pandemic. Remember, to see what's going on in the market, we look at not only what sales prices are doing, but we look at overall activity and things like that. So early on in the pandemic, we wanted to start tracking showing appointments. What you're looking at here comes from a company called Showing Time, and it's what real estate agents and brokers use to schedule showing appointments. And so we knew early on that we were going to see a big dramatic fall off in how many people were getting out to look at real estate. We knew just fewer people were going to get out for obvious reasons. But we wanted to watch this to see when this would bottom out. We wanted to see, as bad as it was going to get. And then we also wanted to see when things might start moving up again. And that would be one of the early signs that the market was picking up. So by mid-May, I was a little surprised to see that we were already showing as much real estate as we were in 2019. In fact, if you follow this orange line a little bit, we actually were showing more real estate in 2020 than we did in 2019, which was pretty surprising considering the world we live in right now. So the next thing we started to look at was the number of actual new contracts that were being written. So were people getting out of the house to look at real estate just because they wanted to get out of the house, or were they actually getting out and making purchases? It's important to understand. So look at November, and this is a continuation of really what's been happening. Number of new contracts written in the first week of November in Panama City Beach for homes, 44% more new contracts were written in the first week of November this year than there was last year. 118% more new contracts were written in the second week when compared to 2019, 290% more in the third week of November, and 25% more in the fourth week. And even the 25% number sounds low after hearing 290%, but think about that. We were showing about the same amount of real estate. So wouldn't it make sense that we would be writing about the same amount of contracts? What you're seeing is that the people that are out are much more serious and are out there and being real buyers much more so than they were last year. Another way to look at this is just follow this blue line, and you can see how dramatic this has been. Remember, the zero line would be even. We're doing about the same as last year. This first tick is 100%. That's a huge number right there. The only reason this chart might not look as dramatic as it is we had to account for 400% almost here, 290% over here. But look at how the blue line hovers at least middle or close to 100% most of the time, and in fact, scorched it right there. We also wanted to look and compare and see, okay, if people were writing all these new contracts, but are many new homes coming up for sale, or is there all of a sudden all these sellers rushing to sell if all these people are buying? And look, the blue line represents these new contracts being written, which would be demand. Red line would be the supply, the number of new homes coming up for sale at any given time. And look at the blue line continues to just outpace the red line, meaning there's so many more buyers in the market than people coming up trying to sell. And in fact, we were worried about this a little bit last month when the supply started to overtake the demand. I was wondering to see if it was going to continue. Well, look what happened. All of a sudden, there was a little bit more supply in the market, and the demand, everybody wrote contracts. So that's the overall market. One more thing. For those of you who don't know, you know that I love this chart. This represents all of the homes in Panama City Beach, priced between $250,000 and $500,000, just to give us kind of a comparison for Whisper Dunes. The red line here represents the number of units for sale. The black line represents the number of closings. But the biggest takeaway is this months of inventory number. Traditionally in real estate, 5 or 6 months of inventory represented a neutral market. Theoretically, and where we got this from, someone would decide to sell, they call the real estate agent. It would take us about 30 days to run a magazine ad or newspaper ad back in the old days. And maybe another 3 months to show the property, negotiate deals, and then 30 or 45 days to close. So 5 or 6 months was the typical time it took to sell something. If it happened faster than that, that means there's more demand. If it's sold faster, more demand in the market, less supply, seller's market territory. The longer you're in seller's market territory, the more you hear about multiple offer situations, homes selling very quickly. Obviously, if they're selling in 2 or 3 months, that's pretty dramatic compared to 5 or 6 months. So the lower that number is, the hotter the market is. The overall market in Panama City Beach has cooled a little bit. June, July, and August, we were hovering in the 2s, which is very, very hot. Only 2 months to put for something to go to the market and then be closed. That's very quick. We've slowed down, cooled off a little bit to 3.5 months, but that's still a seller's market. It'll be interesting to watch that, because if the trend continues 3.5 months, 4 months, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, now the market really begins to slow down. That puts pressure on pricing to come down. As of now, we cooled a little bit, but we're cooling off over in hot territory. So maybe we went from scalding hot to just real hot. So the market's still very, very good. If we look at Whisper Dunes specifically, it's really just mirroring what's happening. In fact, it's hotter than the overall market. Look at less than 1 month of inventory in October and November. For those of you, if you're seeing this and you live in Whisper Dunes or you know about Whisper Dunes, you probably already know this. Homes are just selling very, very quickly. I would contend that pricing needs to be pushed up a little bit, because if things are selling this fast and there's this much demand, you've got to be really careful about your pricing and not leave any money on the table. Real quickly, the couple of sales that we did have in 4 sales in Whisper Dunes in November. 308 Sand Oaks sold for $260,000. We had another 3-bedroom over on that side for $280,000 sell, and then over in the detached single family section, we had a 3-bedroom sell for $340 and another one sell for $369. So I know that's a lot of information very quickly, but I hope you guys found this helpful. We'll be back early January with a wrap up of 2020, and more importantly, to kind of look ahead at the market in 2021. The market is so hot right now that I think the people who are considering selling need to get ahead of the typical spring market a little bit. Things are too good right now, and we have some potential headwinds coming. We'll talk about that at the beginning of next month. If you have any questions, of course, reach out anytime. Again, I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.